15. All right. Leviticus 15. Or 470, all right?
Come on, concept.
All right, Leviticus 15. I'll take Leviticus 15 too. Yeah, turn it down real quick, all right? Anybody got holy people yet?
Con. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 2.
Let me hear that. That's not what I want to do. Let me hear that.
For thou art, Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the people, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
All right, that's the walk too, right? Peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth, right? And that's of course is every single nation, all the heathens, all the heathens is damn near oppressors. Any nation over the earth, or SHALAM, any nation over the earth, we're supposed to be above. He chose us to be a holy people. What does holy mean? Separate, right? Holy means separate or distinct from or apart from, right? The tribe of Levi was at one time wasn't even a tribe. They were joined to the Lord. That's what Levi literally means. Lawyer, joined to me, right? They was not one of the tribes. They were the priests, right? They were part of him. They were separate from the house of Israel. When I say separate, meaning they were not counted as one of the tribes. Dan was counted as one of the tribes. After Dan was absorbed into Manasseh, and Levi became the 12th tribe. Well, not became the 12th, but was now counted as one of the 12. At first, Levi would be what? Part, they would be stationed in every single land where every tribe was to do the work of the priest. You understand? So, but Levi was joined to the Lord. They were not considered part of the 12 tribes. They didn't have an inheritance. They didn't have their own land. You get the point? That's the 10%, the first fruits, the lamb, everything that comes in there. That's the priest, because they don't have what the house of Israel has, but they have a duty and to serve Israel in the capacity that the Lord put them in. You get me? So holy would mean separate or apart from. I use that for an example. If anybody didn't catch where I was going with it, I'm giving you an example of set apart or away from, right? Removed from, because you're not like everybody else, right? Your children are holy when the school let out. You ain't there to pick everybody up. You're there to pick up yours. Your children holy when they're at the block party when everybody else kids acting fool. Yours better not act like them kids over there. You get me? So let's take that one first. Holy, peculiar. We are different type of people. We're very strange. We're very strange in how we look, how we talk, how we dress, our reaction to things. People would be like, why you had to act like that? And we'd be like, nigga, why not? Right. You get the point? We don't really explain all that shit. Right. That shit is in the spirit. You get the point? Anybody looking at how we react on the outside would be like, they saw this or they saw that. But people, our own people looking at ourselves, we understand it without even being told what's really going on. You get what I'm saying? So that's holy, peculiar. What's the other one I asked for? Not Leviticus 15 yet. Give me outside the cap. Give me ease yourself. Hold on. Deuteronomy 23 and 13. Whoever have it, go ahead and read, please, or let's no wait.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith.
What is a paddle upon thy weapon? Go ahead, young man.
Is it like a sheath of a sword?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Sorry, is it a handle? Like so?
A handle. So what do you mean?
Like
Give me also hold where you are. Somebody hold Jeremiah 10 and 16. I'll take that. Go ahead.
Like one end is really the.
Hold on one second. You have to check that. Yeah, what's going on? Okay, I was teaching class right now. You needed something? No sweat, no sweat. It hit me back around 9:30 or 10. Yeah. All right, you have some stuff there. All right, go ahead.
So is like one end is like the quote unquote business end where you deal the damage, and the other end will be like the part where the wielder would hold.
Okay, so you're saying one end is the weapon, and the other end is what? A handle?
Where you wield.
No.
If I'm thinking about a paddle and water on a boat, like the paddle would give force to move the boat forward or backward. So the paddle towards the weapon would be the force of the weapon that's about to be used. Like the reason why
you're all thinking about it differently. Hold on one second. You have some stuff there? Yeah, I hear you. No sweat. I got you. You sure you don't want about 10 more minutes and just to see? No sweat. Take 10 if you want. Take 10 if you want, but and then just text me and let me know. I'll put it through right here. All right, so what? You have some stuff there. Okay. All right. Read 23 and what's this? 23 and what? 13. Read that one more time. Also, too, I might need you to adjust something with the stream. I'll let you know exactly what to do. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee.
All right. Any idea yet? Just take the Christianity off the Bible. It's saying that exactly what it is right there. Exactly what you're reading is what it is. Read it one more time to them, young.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee.
All right, what are we talking about?
Shield.
It's saying it right there. If I even attempt to give you a hint, you're gonna just figure it out. That's a lot. It don't make no sense. I even try to walk you through the shit. Read it one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shall turn back and cover that which cometh from thee.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about? Still on?
Still on, sir.
Come on, man. Y'all, okay, no sweat. You have the other scripture I want, right, Jeremiah? All right. You have a weapon, whether it's a blade or a spear. On the back end is a paddle. It says, you read the scripture again. I'm going to go through it one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon.
Upon thy weapon, you should have a paddle, right? Right? This is the weapon. One end is, as you say, the business end. This is where I fight with. The other end is a paddle. Read.
And it shall be.
And it shall be. Go ahead.
When thou wilt ease.
Yes, go ahead.
When thou wilt ease thyself abroad.
When thou wilt ease thyself abroad. What does that mean? Come on.
Does it mean to travel?
No.
Place to place?
Mm-mm.
Ease yourself meaning using the restroom, guys. They will say today.
That's old English for using the restroom.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Read verse 12. I kind of set you all up on unnecessarily. Read verse 12. It'll give you a little better context.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt have a place also without the camp,
Mm-hmm.
whither thou shalt go forth abroad.
Right. There's a camp. Just like if we have camp, right? But let's think Israel, all the tribes. It's huge. And we have a camp, and there's a place where you go abroad means what? In this context,
You go out away
outside from the camp, away from the camp. Keep reading.
Verse 13. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon.
You have your weapon. One end is to fight. The other end you have a paddle on. Go ahead.
And it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad.
When thou ease thyself abroad. What does that mean?
To relieve yourself.
No, you just in camp.
Sorry, is it saying it's like a shovel at the end of the weapon?
Bright lights. The light just come on in your head now. That's why I said they take the Christianity off of it. Why is it so funny? Why is it so like, what? Why is it? Come on, let's break it down. Because
it's like it's so obvious when you're showing it like that. When you go out the camp, you're in like the wilderness, and in order to keep the land kind of clean,
Mm-hmm.
you dig up the earth, relieve yourself, and then bury the.
Well, not to keep the land kind of clean. It's because we are peculiar people. We are a holy people. Get the point? You ever look around heathens? Heathens spit right there. Y'all know me at camp. Y'all can't spit nowhere near the camp. You have to go spit in the gutter and wash that shit down. Y'all know. Y'all look at me the first time. Somebody, I can't remember who I tell it to. You brother, look at me like it's just spit. Yeah, nigga, wash that shit down. It was you, Salaki. I was trying to hide it. But it's we are strange people. Heathens do everything right there. Right? You ever watch them East Indians cooking video where they have the hot plate and they're mixing it and they're right there digging the nose, everything right there. That's not how we are as a people. That is just our culture. We are not some kind of germaphobe, OCD. We're not that type. We just different than them. You understand? And that makes us clean. That makes us holy. Now, that's one reason why it's funny. What's the other reason why it's kind of like, damn, paddle on the other end of a weapon?
Because you have to protect yourself while you're out by yourself.
Well, that's true too. I'll give you one more. Esau's military. Esau's military, they give you that paddle right there to go right there with your weapon. Right or wrong? Don't they give you that's part of your equipment when you're out there, when you're stationed out in jungle or wherever? Like if you're on the base, you on the base. But when you have to pack, when you have to pack up and load up and put ammunition and rations, that paddle is part of your equipment. They get it from the Bible. Give me Jeremiah 10 and whatever.
10, Jeremiah 10 and 16.
I believe so. Go ahead and read.
Book of Jeremiah 10, verse 16. The portion of Jacob is not like them.
Right, say it again.
The portion of Jacob is not like them.
One more time.
The portion of Jacob is not like them.
The portion of Jacob is not like them. Not like who? Them heathens. The people who are not Jacob. The portion of Jacob is not like them. Go ahead.
For he is the former of all things.
He is what?
The former of all things.
He is what?
The former of all things.
What does that mean?
The trendsetter?
Exactly. Whatever you see on the earth, just know a nigga did it first.
That's right.
A Hispanic did it first. A Native Indian did it first.
That's right.
Whatever you see. You know why TikTok is so popular? I said I'm gonna watch some of the videos. You know why TikTok is so good? Brad Stammer, go ahead. I know that's your whole. That's your territory. Go ahead. Explain. Explain.
Why is TikTok so?
Why is TikTok so popular?
TikTok is so popular because it's straight to the point. It's straight to the point. It has everything you need up there. It's
okay. It ain't even that deep. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get it. Go ahead.
It gives everybody else the opportunity to copy off of us.
How? Okay, that's true. That's the crux of it. In fact, that's just it. Go ahead.
Especially with the dancing.
Okay, with the dancing. Now, take it back for those of you who could remember the time we had to use quarters to use a phone booth and line up. Take it back to the time where there was no call waiting, it was a busy tone. Because that's when people are trying to block you. You take the phone off the hook. Take it back to, you go to the phone booth and there's a line and there are calm people and you know who's going to stay on the phone long, so you know your shit done for the night. You can't use the phone booth, so what do you naturally do? Now the phone booth is in your neighborhood. What do you naturally do? Anybody who remembers or hears stories? Come on.
See that again?
You had to go and make, post up on the phone and baby what's going on in public. There was a time like that.
Right.
But that's everybody's phone booth, and sometimes you're late. Right. So there's people lined up to use the phone. So you might have 2 or 3 people in front of you. What do you naturally do? Yeah, your quarters in your hand, you can't use the phone. There's no other phone to use close by. What do you do? See, so long, but nobody remember. Go ahead, sis.
Is it that you try to bribe somebody?
You probably might do it, but then you're using up your quarters money.
Right.
You would wait.
Come.
But where are you going to wait? I'm probably just thinning it out too much. You're going to wait where you can see the phone, but it's usually there's a block close by, a corner close by, where everybody hanging out.
Right.
And you walk back to the block and your homie's giving you talk like, wow, you can't use the phone. Look at him. He in love. Look at him. He in love. And for the next 10 minutes, it's a whole ton of bullshit talk.
Right.
And then somebody start dancing. How many times you've been on that block and wish that you could just videotape that shit because it was so funny, it was so good, it was so... TikTok is that.
Oh, good.
It's little snippet. That's why it's so short. It's snippets of our culture that's every day. I look at TikTok and I see all the dances. That shit niggas used to do on the block.
Right.
Somebody come up with the boombox playing music, nigga say, okay, this dancer's going grocery shopping, and he start to pop lock and he taking shit off then he throws something up in the end and stop. Boom, and he shoot at everybody like, oh, lose their mind. That's TikTok. But now some white man getting the damn credit for it, but Jacob is the former of all things.
Right.
Like anything you see on the earth, I don't care what it is. It could be sneakers, it could be a sport, it could be a technique of doing something. I don't give a damn what it is. Jacob is the former of all things.
Right.
So when you go and you see the brothers who done it in the military, I tell them that shit there is straight from the Bible.
Right.
They ain't gonna tell you it, but it's just, watching niggas fight. And that's that. So now this year is you can't ease yourself in the camp. The heathens, that's just that. They ease themselves right there.
Right.
Right or wrong?
Concept.
Get the point? They ease themselves right there. There's a documentary called, excuse my language, it's called Shit. I believe that's the name of it. It's about India, East Indians, and how they just shit everywhere. And diseases started spreading. And brother, it was just shit and trash. Every feces, Slack, YouTube and Facebook for you sodomites, you know, sissies, right? It's feces everywhere till like the drains flowing and just feces. You walk outside your house, it's feces. It's a whole mountain of like rubbish, like what they would come and pick up in the trash can. You can move that cooler away too. You can slide it over to behind you or on the side here. I'm gonna leave that for when you're drilling outside. All right. And it's just a mountain of it, and it's right there in the middle of the city. There's a whole mountain of rubbish. It's like huge, brother. You could probably look it up on your phone. Let me see if I can pull it up, a picture or something. Before I see if you can pull it up. Go ahead.
It's like I was slaving with somebody who was in India, and he was telling me when he was there there's a lot of public bathrooms there, but it's a billion people over there, so it's always a long line.
Yeah, the public bathrooms everywhere. That's why it's a lot. Go ahead.
And they said people would didn't want to wait on going to the bathroom, so they would go to the beach and just cop a squat and go on the beach.
Brother, okay,
and there'll be piles.
There's a river that go bathing. I don't think it's the Ganges. I'm not sure if it's the Ganges, but it's one where they have some steps they walk down. And they go, and it's supposed to be holy. They wash the dreadlocks in there. But that shit is full of piss and shit. I'm not lying to you. I'm not exaggerating. It's just, you remember Slumdog Millionaire? Remember the little baby jumped down in the whole drama shit? He see the actor and he just run off the damn thing and jump in shit and get up like, that's them. That's Jacob is the forerunner of all things. His portion is not like the rest of them. Right. You get the point? We are different people than them. So now you have the camp, you settled in your, wherever we are, you settle somewhere, you go outside of where everybody is to ease yourself. And he's saying you must have a paddle on your weapon. Get the point? The paddle is so that yes, we are at war, yes, we are away from the city, but that don't mean, nigga, it has to smell like a public urinal. You get the point? It doesn't mean it has to be like that. How many places you go in and you walk in there and it's like, damn, you know what? I don't need to piss no more. Right or wrong? Now you go into a black restaurant. It could be poor as hell. It could be a poor black restaurant. You go in the bathroom, it's the knockoff Fabuloso because they can't afford the real thing. Right. The toilet paper there. The place where the hand towels is broken, but they have a stack of them, pull out paper. Like, we try our best to not be like them. I don't want to say try our best to be clean because that's our thing. It's our culture to be clean. Right. I want it to be extremely clear, whereas we try to not be like them because that's how they are. Right. You know what I mean? You go to the bathroom as your slave. The oppressors walk in. A white man, an East Indian, and Chinese walk in the bathroom. This is a joke, right? You finish, you washing your hands in the hot water, them niggas, they see you back in the office, Jimmy, and they're gone, and you just like, I ain't touching near one of them for the rest of the day. Because Jacob's portion is not, we're not like them. That's the first thing you have to understand. Our life is different. You get the point? Our rules is different, and it's just our brought up, see, our culture is just different. Go ahead.
Salam, yes, sir. I see it every day in my slave. I'm currently at Planet Fitness. And these heathens, they don't wash their hands when they come out of the bathroom.
For what?
Touch the equipment. I keep my eye on them so I can make sure, okay, they're on this equipment right here, and then I make sure that it's clean for other people.
So you better than me. I'd have been violating the hell out of them. This is COVID. Get out the gym. I'd have been violating. I'd have pulled up like Easter. I'd get one of them, what's the thing that stand on and just move?
Segways.
Segue out of and wash your hands. Yeah, I've been violent. But the point is, it's not our culture to be like that. Go ahead.
So even as you mentioned, the epidemic, the COVID pandemic, one of the biggest issues is trying to get people to wash their hands. Because, you know, and Jeremiah was bringing up the fact that they even wanted to adapt to further back to what you said, that they watched us. They even wanted to adapt to what we were saying. Stop shaking hands and start adapting people.
The fist bump.
Right.
They started doing the fist bump.
Yep.
But that's been, you know, when we was doing it, it was, you know, it was not even urban. It was thuggish. It was, you know, it wasn't professional.
Right.
You get the point? But what's the other thing? COVID guidelines. Just a sidebar, but still on topic, right? COVID guidelines is what?
Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with warm water. So
What else?
6 feet, sir.
6 feet. All right. What else?
Wear your mask, sir.
Well, your mouth. Okay, that last thing, you know. What else? Good.
Cover your mouth when you sneeze.
Cover your mouth when you sneeze. What else?
if you have any symptoms, don't go anywhere or get checked
All
out.
right. Now, before COVID, right? Just before COVID, you're a 10-year-old, you're coming back from school. As soon as you hit the door, what you then ordered to do?
Go in the bathroom, wash your hands.
All right. Right? You're a child, you sneezing. What?
Wash your hands.
Cover your mouth. When black people out in public in a grocery store or waiting by a food truck, do we brush up on everybody and there's something we call personal space that's just understood. You come out the womb wanting personal space, right? But here there's a whole mandate from the White House about personal space, right? Washing your hands when you come from outside. I mean, the things they have as COVID regulations is shit we was doing anyway. Really, if you had to learn COVID regulations, you just a nasty mother. That's all. You just grow up nasty. You grow up disgusting. You probably never wash your hands when you use the bathroom. Right. It was just nasty. It was just, it's normal. The COVID regulations is not strange to us as a people, and it's something that's second nature because we grew up like that. Right. We grew up in that way of, personal space. Man, I'm feeling so that I'm feeling good. You already start letting people know what's going on. The oppressor, he sit right next to you with AIDS, radioactivity, whatever he got, he giving it to you. But we are not like that. You get the point? So that's the first thing you have to understand with the laws of cleanness and uncleanness. Our culture is totally different from everybody else. All right, so now we get that part. Let's go Leviticus 15. I believe that's it. Yeah, I believe that's it. You can go ahead.
Leviticus 15:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
All right? He have a running issue out of his flesh. Because of his issue, he's unclean. What does that mean? Come on.
The man has diarrhea. He's sick internally.
I ain't gonna say diarrhea, even though that's could fall into the category, but you always specific like that. Right? Go ahead.
Is it discharge? Any type of discharge?
Let's more talk about that. Let's talk about, a discharge. A diarrhea could fall into it too because it's something you ate, and it could be a bug. It could be some sort of food poisoning. Right. Food poisoning, I don't care what they say, you get somebody throwing up and have diarrhea, brother, you can get sick from that. Mm-hmm. You get the point? So it's any type of discharge, right? Any type of discharge from your private area, right? You're unclean. Why you're unclean? Well, read where we at? Let me catch up.
Verse 2, sir.
Leviticus what?
15:2, sir.
Go ahead.
Leviticus 15 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue, Slack it. When any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his tissue,
With his issue.
with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Every bed whereupon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean,
Mm-hmm.
and everything whereupon he sitteth shall be unclean.
Right? You know they say in the bed where had the issue, like whatever. You got an issue going on there. That issue is all over the place. You got, you know what I mean? You got a whole thing going on there.
Right.
Like it's that, right? Hold on. You have some chapter? Mm-hmm. Yeah. For whoever is the two brothers, you would send, or two people, you would send it to them and they would each fill it up. I can send it to you right now. I know, sir. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, go ahead. Shalom. Where we at? Okay, so anything you sit on, lay on, where it could be whatever's coming out of you is all over it. You get me? That would be also unclean until the even. Right? It was until the even mean. Sundown, right? Which is even or evening. Right? Go ahead, Bukwa.
Verse
Slack
5.
it, a warrior.
So, and that unclean is unclean to everybody else. So if that person has that sickness and they're in the bed, they're fine there, but you can't go there because it's unclean to you. Because you, like for example, if somebody's on, I'll give you an example. If somebody
Okay, it's yes, you're right. Go ahead.
Like I'm saying that because somebody, let's say a sister, for argument's sake, might be on her menstrual. She's fine there, but it's unclean to you. I mean, you can't go there.
Okay, that's true. But even with her, you still require, you should wash.
Come.
You get the point. So even them things, she had to wash. She can't just sit there, or anybody can't just sit there and be like, well, I'm unclean, and just issue up the whole goddamn room once again. We not them. You know what I mean? Let me I want to sit here and wallow, get all this uncleanness all over me. Uncleanness every goddamn way. No, you still go, fresh. You know what I mean? Change the sheets. You know what I mean? Like that's how we are as a people. We're not them. You know what I mean? We not them people. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Why is that? Why?
That's saying because if you touch any of that stuff that he touched, you could potentially be unclean. So you have to clean yourself and stay away. So that
if you touch that stuff, you are unclean. But why is it that you wash your clothes and be unclean until the evening?
To get all that stuff off of you, and that you cannot contaminate or.
That's the reason. Because you don't want somebody else getting the issue he has.
Right.
You get the point?
Come on.
All right, go ahead. Come on.
Question about a woman's menstrual, not to be vulgar or anything, but if a woman takes a shower, is the shower unclean until Eve?
We're gonna get to that. Y'all be acting like Eve is the terrorist number one for them 7 days. Y'all be cringing and shit. This last week you couldn't get your hands off the bro. She gave you stuff like you like. Baby, what's going on, man? You acting like Eve is a criminal over the shit. God damn shit. Yeah, and okay, this is the thing too. It's a good thing you asked this question too, Bukwash, because from just hearing about our laws and not really being taught on it, you could begin to vilify people and create a whole religion like the Arabs. The Arabs is like that. Yeah, the Arabs here, a woman's supposed to be covered, and they put a bitch in a tent. Right. For whether it's winter, spring, summer, fall, they don't care if she get a heat stroke under there. You get the point? Like that's you don't understand this thing.
Right.
Once again, Jacob's portion is not like theirs. Jacob gets something different. You get the point? So we gonna get to that, all right, Council? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that had the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and shall be unclean until the even. Verse 7. And he that touches the flesh of him that had the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Right, you get the point.
Right.
Let's skip ahead. What verse we at?
That was verse 8, sir.
Right, all the way down, giving you different scenarios. If you touch his saddle, if you touch this, that, the other. Okay, give me verse 12.
Leviticus 15 and verse 12. And the vessel of earth that he touches, which has the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that had an issue is unclean of his issue, slakia. And when he that had an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean.
All right. What does that verse 12 mean? Who got it? Come on.
It's like my mate, sir. It's referring to like the clay cups, the clay dishes, pottery. Like if somebody that's unclean that has this issue uses these items, discard them, break them, get rid of them.
Why?
Because now you can transfer that contamination to those vessels.
Why is it different from wood?
Because the clay is it's more porous than wood.
Clay has certain properties. Earthen vessels,
right,
absorb. Remember, you put seed in the earth,
right,
and that seed grows into a tree,
right.
But where does it get its fruit from?
The soil.
Because the soil has the ability to absorb nutrients.
Right.
You get it, boy? It can also absorb your issues. So whatever you have,
right,
you know, whatever clay thing you touch,
right,
you got to break that thing out.
Right.
You got to break that thing because you could infect somebody later on.
Right.
You get the point? How did we know that? If science was, just science and, the white man, because Jacob's portion is not other people's portion.
Right.
You get the point? Jacob's portion is not that. The East Indians give the rat the milk in a clay pot and then drink the milk right back. You get the point? We not like that. That pot had to be broken. Right? The wood, now you could deal with that. You could wash that up. You get the point? Because wood, the water could go through and purify the wood. All right? Where we at? 13? Let me see. Give me another man. 16.
Leviticus 15 and verse 16. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even. And every garment and every skin whereon the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean unto the even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean unto the even.
Right, so 16 is where you would go if some Christian or some fake Israelite battling you that the issue is the seed of copulation, which is semen from a man. Right? That semen that comes out from a man during sex, that's different from the issue that we read about in verse 1. You get the point? So 16 is where you would go to, because some Christians, fake Israelites, they'll say, yeah, that's this. That's not this. This is two different things. They wouldn't know the difference because they have all the diseases in the world anyway. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 19.
All right, so everybody understand that, right?
Okay.
Once seed comes out of you, you unclean. Once it comes out of you, you're unclean. Right. The bed you're laying on is unclean. Your clothes is unclean until the evening. The woman you're with, she's unclean until the evening. Whatever you all sit on for that day is unclean until the evening. Where we reach? 19?
Okay, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart. She shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean unto the even.
Right. So this is what we're talking about here, Kazi. This was your question, right? Now this is when they say whoever a woman have an issue, which is again more proof that the issue is this thing that coming out of you, more so your private area. But her issue is blood. Then she's unclean for 7 days. Whoever touches her, what is it?
And whoever touches her shall be unclean until the even.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
All right. Keep going.
Kamakan. Verse 21. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the even. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the even. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereupon she sitteth, when he touches it, he shall be unclean unto the even.
Okay, so what is this talking about now? Break it for me.
So he's basically, the scriptures
Hold on. Kazi. Go ahead, Al.
Anything she touches is unclean, and if you do touch it, then you're unclean. So you got to wash your clothes. And
when you say touch it, what do you mean?
Anything that her issue touches.
It didn't say her issue. It's different. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead.
Sir. I believe the spirit of it is saying anything that she touched, which possibly could be the blood, anything that the blood could possibly touch. If you touch that thing, you will become unclean unto the even.
That's the spirit of it. That's exactly the spirit of it. Of course, if you're not in here, you're gonna go the letter of it, and now you go in somewhere left field with it. Right. This is the spirit of it. She's unclean. Ideally, she should be, what is it? Put apart 7 days, right? Okay. Whether you go somewhere else or she goes somewhere else for 7 days, right? 7 days. Why? Because of course this thing is coming out of her. It could get messy. You don't want to be in that position now where you're unclean because you're in close quarters with her, right? However, the spirit of it is that this issue doesn't get on you, just like the issue the first brother had, right? It didn't say he's gone for 7 days. It didn't say that. Why?
Because this issue didn't last that long.
It could last longer. A woman's cycle typically supposed to be 7 days, right? Typically 7 days. Or this more accurately, let me don't say that. More accurately, the Lord's quarantine for her is 7 days for that particular issue, right? Don't repeat what I said where it says a cycle should last 7 days, because it doesn't. A woman who has a regular cycle, it does not last 7 days. Right, it's a few days and then it's fine for the next 2, but she has to fulfill that 7-day quarantine. Right. Sometimes this goes more. She might have another issue. She might have other things going on with her, hormonal stuff, stress, medication, who the hell knows, and it transferred past 7 days. She bleeding still, right? But typically, she's going to bleed for a few days, and then it's going to taper off. But 7 days is that time of leaving her to hell alone. Why? Because the Lord knows Israel. We're not like the other nations.
Right.
That tale is fun. And a brother might just say, you know what? No, brother. Give us some time, man.
Right.
Just give us some time.
Right.
Get the point? Give us some time. We're not like other nations, though. Get the point? The other nations, they don't care.
Right.
They, what? Huh? Red? Stop? No. No.
No, Shalom, sir. If I may, the East Indians, the Hindu
The Hindu dot is period blood.
Oh, God.
Oh, he looked up at me like, what? Oh, you thought that was some kind of holy ink? Listen, me too. I'm from the islands. Like, we used to look at them East Indians like they was so high above us and so. Listen, I've heard parents tell their children, why can't you niggas be more like the Indian and them? And I come to find out these Indians is rat kissing, feces bathing, period makeup artist. And that's who you want me to be like?
Right.
I'll just be a dumb nigga then.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just be a dumb, fly ass, smell good, looking good ass nigga. Because if that's smart, I want to be stupid. That red dot is period blood. You could just go look up the history of the red dot. It comes from some god who they worship, who was supposed to be Krishna's outside woman. Of course, the language they use is different. They say something like paramour, concubine, or some shit like that. Or his servant, whatever. But that was his outside woman. Krishna's wife. Krishna's one of their gods. He's like the Jesus then. Krishna would go to the outside woman when his wife was on her period. There were people who worshiped the wife, and of course, the woman being in their feelings because he have another one, started now saying she's on her period, we are her followers. And of course, men too, because Hinduism is very what's like woman power, woman supremacy. I even want to say matriarchal. That's still putting too much, respect on the shit. It's second. What about it?
Is the woman that they worship after?
I think Vishnu is a man. Yeah, I forget the other. It could be the name. I don't know. But Hinduism is it's a feminizing religion. It requires some of the men to mutilate their penises, right? You look up the Aguri. Is Aguri or Igogi?
Igor, sir.
Igogi is the Greeks.
No, I just remember you did a class on the.
No, it's two in it. It's Aguri. Is either Aguri or Igogi? I think Igogi is the Greek. Somebody look it up. One of them is the Greek boys who the soldiers used to have sex with. And one of them is the cult of the East Indian pundits.
Right.
Who they say that because they worship this Kali, they worship this damn woman god, and she's so good and holy, how could I defile her with my own nasty ass penis? So they get a piece of wood and wrap the rod around it and twist it and tie stones to it and walk around bearing the pain because they're trying to show respect to this god because, of course, naturally, a man is supposed to get an erection for a woman. But in order to show this respect to this god, you got to make sure you don't get an erection. So you just destroy it. Listen, y'all think I'll be making shit up? Y'all think I'm just cracking jokes? I'm not. The class ain't about them, so you can go look at that on your own. But it's a very real thing. What is it called?
It's called Agori.
Agori. To what? Who's the Igogi? The Igogi got to be the Greeks then. The Igogi, I think, is the Greek, like cadets. Just think like cadets or Boy Scouts who would be underlings to the soldiers, and they were their, sex toys, right? And that's how they would bond with the next generation, and that would increase their fight on the battlefield. Right. Because imagine, Lord forbid you ever in this situation where you fighting an enemy and your woman is in danger, you're gonna kill everybody to save her because that's who you're having sex with. Right. White man says, oh. What if they was having sex with the men and created relations with the men. So when you're on the battlefield, you're not fighting for your brother, you're fighting for your lover.
Right.
And that would make you fight harder.
Right.
Because after you could go have good old sex. That's why all the Greeks have this. You ever see Greek wrestling?
Right.
That's why they they don't knocking a nigga out ain't winning the fights.
Right.
It's climbing on top of him and putting your nuts in his face and pinning him down and submit. That's why it's like that, because it's really about loving. Loving boys. That's how you guys see. They know what I'm talking about. Them niggas look like good Greek wrestlers.
Yeah,
good. I can see Nick now. Bang, bang, bang. So I can go in there.
The UFC's favorite choke is what they call the rear naked choke.
Even the term rear naked, I can understand why it had to be naked though.
Right.
Nigga have on clothes.
Right.
The rear naked choke, because all right then. Let's keep it PG, all right? Yeah, put us in that grade. There's another one of these on the other side somewhere over there. You could hand me, please. Go ahead.
The Greek one is the agogi.
Agogi, right? Anyway, so those people who would follow that particular god, they started at the temple. They would put the red blood and put it on the forehead. Like how the Christians make the ashes on Ash Wednesday to signify that they won with this bleeding ass broad.
Right.
And of course now they use ink and dye, but you can imagine, just think this is Eastern, this is heathens.
Right.
If you ain't got no paint, what are you gonna use? But that is period blood. That's what it is, all right? When I learned that, I'm not buying nothing, no coffee from no East Indian ever again.
That's
right. All right? I don't know what you sweeten my shit with. All right? So that looking a little too brown. All right, let's go. Give me where we at. Okay, so that's the spirit of it, right? Now, of course, this is our laws for where we are. Now, you in captivity, brother. You either in a basement somewhere, in a studio. Shit, you might be living in a car in the back of your van with bro. She on her menstrual, what are you gonna do? Put her outside? That's not the spirit of it. You get the point? There's ways to get around that situation. You have already been living with her. She can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere. If it is you live in a situation where she could go visit her mother for a week, let her go visit her mother for a week. All right? Call on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. But if it's a situation where nobody could go anywhere, you'll have to deal with each other. You have a few options you could do. You could just sleep in another room. You can sleep on the couch for that week. You mightn't have that option. You might just have that room and that's all you have. You sleep on the bed. You could get a sheet. She could wear a sheet, fold a sheet in half, wear it around her lower half like a skirt. You form a barrier between herself and anything she's sitting on. Why? Because she's sitting on the sheet and not the thing. You get the point? It's your best way of trying to show the law. You're trying to keep this thing. You're trying to keep the law and not put the woman outside because she's bleeding. Right. You understand? The Lord said, I'd rather have mercy than sacrifice. Right. You get the point? Some fake Israelite, you'll go somewhere. I don't care where you go. I'm keeping the law. Right. And then, whatever. She just going to come back. Right? So that's the spirit of it. Right?
Sorry, sir.
Come on.
I remember there was years ago when I was just coming to the school. There was some fake Israelite school, and some sister was complaining about it and was saying how every time she was homeless, and they're supposed to have taken her into whatever they called their school. But every time her menstrual came about, no matter what the weather was, she had to be sleep on the bench outside.
Man.
She was like complaining about it, and of course, everybody who was not in the truth was debating back and forth and was siding with that fake group, saying, "Yeah, I mean, they're doing you a favor anyway. So once you're in the menstrual, you already know you gotta find somewhere to stay." So,
and they didn't find a place for the girl to stay. I mean, she can't stay in school, but shit, she could, you could pay for a house for the girl, pay for a room somewhere.
On the bus bench at that.
That's all right. You know what I mean? Listen, I ain't gonna say no more. Go ahead.
It's like, sir, before I found UBK,
Mhm.
I saw a class where Nasty Nate was teaching, and he's basically saying she needs to go. She needs to leave the house. The woman, whenever she's on that issue, she needs to leave the house.
Yeah, but what about that man who was having sex with Tranny in the purple shit?
Right. Right.
If the news never found out, he'd have still been in there.
Exactly.
You understand? If he don't need to leave the house though, but this woman, this is a natural thing that happens. This is not, every time she thinks of sin, she bleeds so that she's sinning. This is a natural thing.
Right.
This nigga with the flyers in his hand, with the purple shirt, went and had sex with the tranny and had what do you call it? Something remorse. Buyer's remorse. You put it back on your socks and you hear this heavy voice. Yeah, so how was that? you go crazy. But that nigga, he was in that house all the time.
Right.
And he was doing it all the time until the news found out.
Right.
Yeah, that should let you know something about Nasty. Nasty Nate also said women in America are brainwashed to America and they think they could deny you.
Right.
And if the man decides he's gonna take some anyway,
Right.
she say he raped her. That's not rape.
Right.
You could go take it anyway.
Right.
Listen, man, Jacob's portion is not everybody else's portion.
Right. That's what
You get the point? Like, what's the point in taking it? Like, that ain't doing nothing for me. I need to know that I'm so fly, she just gets naked.
That's right.
You get the point? I need to know that I come in and I'm taking off my shoes and she walk out. Bong, bong, bong. I say, hold up. I need to know that it doesn't matter. Listen, I just come from camp. I go bathe.
Right.
Bathe later. Because you is you.
Right.
That's what I need to know. That's what, you know what I mean?
Right.
This taking shit, I don't know where the hell, anyway. Listen, come on.
It's the Hamites, they bring it in there.
That's listen, I only took on my tongue to say, don't be surprised you find out later on this nigga is some Hamite and all that. Don't be surprised that, he find it out and he's trying to unite with his roots. You get the point? But, that's the heathens, right?
Right.
You don't have to put the sister out, and it's a horrible time for a sister. She losing blood. She cold all the goddamn time,
Right.
She had to get used to every month her stomach feeling like it gonna fall out. Like what, nigga? Buy some tea for the brother and a nice blanket, man. Goddamn.
Right.
If you could be kind to the sister, shit.
Right.
You're going to have a daughter one day. That's what they don't tell you.
Right.
All right then. And gonna have some niggas just like you gonna put the bitch out. And, you know what I mean? That's who's gonna marry your daughter. You get the point? So now let's continue some more. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 23. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereupon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean unto the even.
Right. So now you live with a woman. You doing the sheep thing when she come home. Of course, if she in the truth, she gonna understand what's just going on. You could just tell her, okay, for the next 7 days, this is your chair. Everybody knows she sits on this chair. You get the point? And that way, nobody else sits on that chair.
Right.
You understand? She has a place she sits.
Right.
She always does that. She come down. Everybody watching TV, they see that sheet, they know what time it is.
Right.
You get the point? It don't have to be, it don't have to be a whole, avoiding. It ain't got to be COVID in the house because she have a period.
Right.
You get the point? It got to be like that. We have rules you can follow, and there's a spirit of it.
Right.
All right, keep going.
Verse 24. And if any man lie with her and if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereupon he lieth shall be unclean.
What does that mean?
So he's saying, if he's enjoying the joy that comes with sleep, and
listen, keep talking like that. There's some sister or sisters that like that type of, oh, he's so educated. Say something like, it gets my britches in a bunch. Who is that brother that's so educated? So don't even worry about none of that. They laughing because they don't understand what the hell he's saying. That's some nigga shit. What are you talking about? He about to get some bucks. Y'all ain't gonna get. Go ahead, the pleasure that comes by night. Go ahead,
So and then her issue comes on at that time. He has the issue on him, so he's going to be unclean for 7
It could
days.
happen. It could happen now. You're having sex with your woman. That period come down. While you're having sex with her, you ain't gonna know until the lights come on. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna know nothing. And then, Salak, you make a call. You tell the camp leader you need to go out of town for a week. Why a week? Don't ask me, because I'll question the hell out of you. I'll shoot you like an interrogation. You're gonna tell me the first time you shoplift after that phone call. You're gonna confess. But but you just, it happens. It happens. But of course, there's different ways, brother. You only work at the Lord. You can't really afford time off. Right. You just want to be responsible with it. You're living with the girl. You kind of know when her time is around. So around that time, you just start, doing more push-ups and taking cold showers. So you don't, you don't run the risk. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Or you do like Barack. So we having camp this weekend. I don't know. Call me Saturday morning. Call me Saturday morning. I don't know. Yeah, it happens out. You just want to take whatever steps to make sure you can be on that podium when it's camp time. And don't let it be an excuse. Why you wasn't at camp? Well, so you see that tail, right? You're communicating something else there. That's but it's growing. Every young brother goes through it. Right. Every young sister goes through it. You're growing. Even sisters, you already know your brother had to be at class or camp or whatever. It could come tomorrow. It might be the next day. It might be late. But roll the dice then. But you might be responsible and be like, nah, you got camp tomorrow. You know what I mean? Pray for a sister like that. Go ahead. Or Hebrew Academy. See, I kind of like that, because now you can come and work. Yeah. Let's leave that part. We get the point. There's ways. There's different responsible ways you could jot the shit down. And the best way to understand it is treat your duty in here as a slavery. Right. Imagine you couldn't go to your slave the next day because you had sex the night before. What would you do when she come in the room with the wine, and I can't say R. Kelly no more, and the 112 play? You know what I mean? What you gonna do? Listen, I don't know what to say too loud. I want him to say shit, R. Kelly still play. That nigga make hits on. What you have to do? What to do? Shit. It's like, who you listen to? R. Kelly? Nah, the wine Melly. Salaki, I don't know. Yeah, that's a rough one. That nigga was vile, brother. God damn. Nigga had a problem. That's what the stoning was made for, if you didn't want to know. Right. If you ever want to know why stoning was such that cruel punishment was, reserved in Israel, it's for that act. Right. In front of everybody. Right. So if you be getting Jones for a little 12-year-old with little mosquito bumps on the chest, you gonna picture in your head when his head busts open, right, and his mouth still moving, saying, "Please stop!" Right, and another stone come and crack open the side of his face. You gonna remember that shit, and you're gonna be like, "Let me just look the other way and let this little girl go her damn way." Right. You get the point? Like that's if the scripture says to put the evil away from among you. Right. Some shit after you see it, you're gonna know which God you serve. Right. I'm telling you straight up. I remember seeing them tapes of Levi cutting it into pieces and then burning it with the damn tires out. Yeah. Brother, I see them shit tips. I was like, whoop, Haiti, I'm not going there. So I was back in the world. It was rough. Even Benjamin too. Benjamin with them sodomites out. Benjamin be rough on them sodomites, but I ain't gonna lie. Salaki. Good night. Y'all gonna say I'm shocking for them sodomites. They ain't stolen no horse like that. Right. Shit, they ain't stolen no drug dealers like that. Right. Brother, I see some video of something like under the car hiding on. He should have just kept running. He should have just kept running, brother. It's rough, but it's to put the evil away from among you. What the hell over here? Go ahead.
I had Kelly, I ain't got no kids, so I get me a real that half on the baby track getting played.
Listen, that half on a baby might be mean something else, I'm trying to tell you. Which is your mind's telling me no, but your body is telling me that might mean something totally different right now, man. You look at a grown woman. I mean, anyway, let's stay on the topic, guys. So, all right, so it could happen. Keep going.
Come on.
There's other songs for that shit out. Yo, put our Kelly in the grave, man. Go put some Shaw. Put on Shaw Banyami and Banya Howard on, man, brother from South Carolina. You got some rough tracks out. Yeah. Got some good old rough tracks. Yeah, I mean. Right. Get it in. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation.
All right, what does that mean?
Come on. So it's saying if she has an issue more than 7 days, let's just say if it's 10 days, then she'll be separated for those 10 days. Right.
All right. If her bleeding runs more than 7, right? It runs to 8. At the end of the 8, she's clean. It runs to 9. At the end of the 9, she's clean. It runs 2 weeks. She's unclean for them 2 weeks. On the 15th day, she's clean again. Right. You get the point? Okay. Right? The days of her bleeding shall be as the days of her separation. That's it. All right? Go ahead.
She shall be unclean. Verse 26. Every bed whereupon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation.
Right, it's the same thing. It's basically saying the same rules apply, right? Verse 28.
Verse 28. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean.
Right. If say it again.
But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean.
Right. If she be cleansed of her issue, she gonna number to herself 7 days, meaning numbering that 7 day period once again, and after that she's straight. All right. Get me to one. Hold on. What's the one I'm looking for?
Which one, sir?
Where the brother willingly going onto her. Oh, you didn't think that was going to be in here? Right? There's a law if you willingly have sex with her on her menstrual. Right? And also to remember, just in keeping with the same question, and that precept, Jacob is the former of all things, his portion, Jacob is not like the other nations. The laws, majority of the laws, if not all of them, coming out of Egypt was so that we would not be like the Egyptians. Everything you see where the Lord said, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, is really because we were doing it. And that was Egypt's culture. Homosexuality was Egypt's culture. Lesbianism was Egypt's culture. Fathers lying with daughters, that was Egypt's culture. A man having sex with 2 sisters, that was Egypt's culture. Tattoos, Egypt's culture. Shape-ups and bald head, Egypt's culture. This was Egypt's culture. Raping is Egypt's culture. Yeah. Right? That in what's this? Samuel? Not Samuel. Yeah. What am I talking about?
The Judges?
Judges 19. Right? Where they say we haven't seen something this bad since the days of Egypt. Right. When them Benjamin brothers raped the girl and then put her back there for her husband. The brother said, we haven't seen something like this since Egypt, because rape was Egypt culture. Get the point? So all this was coming out of Egypt, the Lord trying to make us holy. Once again, you go pick up your child from school, they come in talking some shit they hear in the locker room. What you say? Where you hear that? Right. Who you hear saying that? Right. Don't bring that in here.
Right.
Leave that shit in school. That's what the Lord is telling us out of Egypt. You understand? When you read the laws, that's what he's telling us. Leave that shit in Egypt, man. Don't come up in here with that. Leave that back there.
Right.
You get the point? Leave it back there. That can't come up in here. Where's the law where he willingly go into? You know what I'm talking about? I'm too what? Get passes out from here. So what? Yeah.
Might be Leviticus 20 and 18. So
Let me hear it.
come on, sir. Pull it up right now. The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 18. Verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
Read that again. The fountain trip marks. The Bible have a way of putting some shit on.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
Exactly. He discovered and she uncovered, meaning he ain't rape her. He come in, she's like, all right, cool, put a towel down. That's some evil shit. The Lord said stone both of them.
Right.
Because we don't do that nasty shit over here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, keep that Wakanda shit outside.
Right.
We don't do none of that over here. You could wait, Negro.
Right.
You could wait. Go build a house or something. You got so much energy. Go build a house. Go build a skyscraper. Go stop a bullet. wait a few days. She gonna be all right.
Right.
But you go in there. You discover the fountain, and then she uncovered. You know what the Lord saying? Like he's, both y'all culpable in this shit.
Right.
Both y'all culpable in this shit. You die. You die. You can't knowingly do it.
Right.
You can't knowingly do it. The only how you getting away is you whip the ground, and it's like, hold up, wait, you extra excited tonight, Salakia, for the kids, and then the lights come on. Oh shit! Now it's fine.
Right.
But you knowingly come home with some wine and turn on the music and light the candles, and Eve's, she ain't got too much strength in certain times. Yeah, both of y'all had to die.
Right.
They drag you outside and bust your head.
Right.
Go ahead.
When I was in East Coast military, before I knew about any of this, I was talking with a few other people.
To water, Lord. Please. To water. Because I thought you was about to say something else. Yo! I'm to be calm, and in my mind, I'm like, I hope this brother ain't about to say what I think I'm about to say. And everything is slow motion up here for me. He's like, what does it mean? So military. Right. And before I knew all of this, it's how I'm moving slow. I'm like, don't say I'm out of it. Didn't say it. I felt like I was going to the Super Bowl with that shit. None of it would matter. I just, some things just need to remain in the past. But since this is not about you, carry on.
It was like about three, 4 people, and was one the guy was Esau, and we was all talking about that, and was saying how bad that was. That's disgusting. He was looking at us like we're crazy, and then when we was talking about it,
go ahead,
and then he wasn't talking at all, and I'm like, well, why you looking like that? Why you looking at me like that? Why? He was like, why don't you do that? I do this all the time. You should do that. I'm like, dude, you are disgusting.
He is. Don't be as profane as Esau. That's Esau. Okay. Esau would tell you it's the best time because she can't get pregnant, right. Which is another. Listen, I heard all the excuses. I think right. Ever. It's the best time because she can't get pregnant, and it's like, nigga, you scared of a kid? you so selfish. You don't want no responsibility behind the sex.
Right.
Which is why they have so much whole sex.
Right.
What else? You helping her? You helping her come down faster? A whole ton of other shit. And okay, I just need everybody who would do it to put their reasons on a piece of paper and meet me outside. Scared of kids? How many people? Show of hands. You smart. This is the future of our generation. Walk this way. And that would be the end of that. You would never hear these excuses again. I would bind these excuses with a piece of tape and put them in the records.
Right.
And somebody say anything, go in that book and see if them words match this piece of paper.
Right.
And then invite them to a party.
Right.
Go ahead. Who are they on?
So I made, which proves the point that you was going into, that Jacob's portion is not the world's portion. His sisters, as in the projects, with roaches and Section 8, and they understand that's disgusting.
Go ahead.
That they understand that's disgusting. Meanwhile, Becky, who got all the money and all the luxuries of the earth, they partake in everything that's profane. Well, the sister that's in the projects even knows you crazy, nigga.
Let's just chill.
Yeah.
Let's really Netflix and chill.
Yeah, come on.
But Becky, she's like, come on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on with it. Don't be profane like Esau.
Right.
You get the point? So that's the basic law, just to answer the question. That's the basic, no sweater. That's the basic, your unclean laws. I think there's a few more for a few other things. But touching the dead, let's get touching the dead. All right? An animal that died of itself. Dead body. You know what I mean? You taking the brother too, right?
Come on.
All right. You have to all right.
No sweat. Y'all be safe.
That's how you know a nigga ain't trying to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Listen, like, I know that trick.
Yeah.
Who on the door? All right, what did he do? All right, no sweat. He's like, hold on, let me make sure I get everybody. Y'all have any children? Any young men here? Let me dap them young brothers up. Died of itself. Leviticus 17 and 15. Whoever have it, go ahead.
Leviticus 17, verse 15. And every soul that eateth that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the eve.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall he be clean.
All right, so anything that died of itself, what does that mean?
Natural death.
I'll take that. Okay. There's a better way to put it though.
Anything that was not killed.
Still better way though. You on it?
Something that you stumbled upon it and it was dead already. What you got?
Yeah, that's true too. All that is descriptions. This is the rule. Anything you didn't kill.
Right.
Anything you didn't kill. So let's take up a time where you would kill your own meat, or somebody would go somewhere and point it, and even you pointing it out for the butcher, and then he kill it, is you still killing it.
Right.
But as long as that didn't happen, that should die of itself, or something else killed it, another animal, you know, it broke its leg, it couldn't eat, some shit like that, and it starved, whatever. You can't eat it. Right? I believe you could sell that to the heathens, though. I think so. I think you could sell that type of meat to East India. They're gonna eat that. Them Ethiopians, they got some delicacy where they take camel meat and they bury it and it starts rotted. Somebody look it up. Just to make sure I ain't talking shit. You'll know that they like to accuse me of making some shit up. I don't be making this shit up. They're nasty. They're nasty. You're like your brother's like something foreign, something new. You'll get a little mislit Selassie, and you don't know this brother making something nasty. Go ahead.
I watched videos of these Hamites who would go and steal a lion's prey and would drag it off.
That's not like the same thing I'm talking about. It might be. I think them Ethiopians got something like that where they take the camel meat or some kind of meat and they bury it until it starts getting sour. Come on.
It's the Libyans.
The Libyans. Go ahead.
Sir. In Tripoli, there's a restaurant called Al-Athar, which is located next to an ancient Roman arch. And my eyes were drawn to the menu item that said baby camel. Sorry, let's get down to the point. More striking is how the camel is served. It's heated inside a clay jar, which a waiter carries to the table with a piece of bread.
It's not there?
Yeah, it's here, sir. They
No sweat. Let me get the scripture in the meantime. Just let me know when you find it.
Okay.
All right. Give me Leviticus 17 and 14. No, 13. Start at 13.
Leviticus 17, verse 13. And whatsoever man there be of children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunted and catcheth any beast of or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust.
Once again, he have to tell us pour the blood out, because the Egyptians, they ain't pouring the blood out. And we grew up with them for what? Almost 400 years spent with them. It's in our culture to do what? Cook with blood. Even till this day, they make what? Blood pudding and all that type of stuff. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 14. For it is the life of all flesh.
Mm-hmm.
The blood of it is for the life thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore I say unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh.
Mm-hmm.
For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off.
Right? Whosoever eats it shall be cut off. You're done. You understand? You shall be cut off. You should be treated like a heathen. You should be pushed out. Since you want to do heathen stuff, you're going to be pushed out. Right? And that's where we get to the part where if you don't kill the animal, you can't eat it. You get the point? Because have you seen it yet?
I see part of it, sir.
No, sir.
It says a foil wrapped camel meat is placed in a metal drum, which is buried in sand. Then a fire is lit on top.
Nah, that's an old way of like broiling something. Not barbecue, but broiling. This thing I'm talking about is they bury the thing and leave it there for a while.
Yeah.
And the thing starts decaying. And it's a delicacy. All right? It might be the Ethiopians. Them Libyans, I don't know. It might be them Ethiopians. So that's it. So you have any animal died of itself. What's another unclean situation if somebody dies? Right? Somebody dies. Give me the laws on that real quick. All right? You have it, Orion? Give me House of the Dead. I think that's what it says. Is it House of the Dead? No. Give me Leviticus 21. It start at 10. You're going to trip over this.
Come. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 10. And he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointed oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on their garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes.
Uncover his head meaning what?
He had a headpiece on. It was
The priest
Cut his hair.
to make his head bald.
oh God.
You understand? That would be uncovering your head.
Right.
You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 11. Neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself, for his father or his mother. Verse 12.
Right? So now, what does the 11 mean? Go ahead.
I think the term is called necrophilia. So no necrophilia or masturbation.
It's another bakwash here. That's why I said it's going to trip people up. Okay, this is not what it's talking about. But when you read it, that's what comes to people's mind. Like, God, what do you mean? Like, go have sex with a dead body? That's not what it's talking about. But why does that come to your mind? Because that's what our oppressors do. That's what our oppressors do. You get the point? Go ahead. What was going to say?
I'm sloppy, sir. Verse 11. Meaning you can't be around a dead body without being.
You can't go in to see a dead body, like a funeral. And that's why I say be his father. Read 11 again.
Verse 11. Neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself, for his father or for his mother.
You understand? Because the law for a priest is what? You could only, we could get that to, you could only make yourself unclean for the nearest of kin. Mother, father, sister, brother. I mean, if your auntie died, let's let her nephew, her son, let your cousin bury her. Right? Your grandmother died, whatever. But for a priest of the Lord, really, you only would be allowed time off for nearest of kin. Mother, father, sister, brother. Right? That's it. Son, wife, children. That's it. You get the point? Outside of that, they had to handle that shit. But in this case here, this priest, whoever's that high priest, he can't even go to a father or mother funeral because he has to be on duty. He had to work. He had to be available to work all the time. You get the point? Let me get some more. Anybody find the other one with the house? If a dead body be in a house? Go ahead, Shapat.
So, are all officers of the I.S.U.P.K considered high priests?
No, officers in UPK are considered priests. However, UPK protocol requires you to get permission for, once you're going to miss duty, right? Once you're going to miss duty. This here, the law for, that's why I want the law for the dead body. Once, if you can't find it, I'm going to paraphrase it now because we're close to the time. If you go into the house where the dead body is, you're unclean automatically for 7 days. If you touch the dead body, you're unclean for 7 days. You go to a cemetery, you're unclean for 7 days. It's automatic. This is called a state required minimum, 7 days. You pallbearer, you're gonna lift up that coffin, you're unclean for 7 days. Go to the church, you're unclean for 7 days. You go to the funeral home, you're unclean for 7 days. Somebody die in your house, Lord forbid, you unclean for 7 days if you're in the house. They could be in another room. They could be in the basement. You unclean for 7 days. Right? That's just the quarantine for it. As the high priest, you can't take all that time off. You got shit to run.
Right.
In here, you're a priest. You have nearest of kin. Somebody will have some consideration of understanding, give you time off. But Peter's father died, and Christ told Peter, who was not a high priest, let the dead go bury the dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let them go handle that shit. I need you for today. Right. And that was Peter's father. Peter was not a high priest. Right. Christ said, man, look, nigga, go on. What you want? Yeah. You know what I mean? Goddamn. Right. It sounds funny, but, for real. I just think it ain't no BWI in them days and no Spirit Airlines. Right. You gotta go out. You gotta go take a trek to go wherever and see the body, and then go to the grave and put something, and then come home. Nah, nigga, let's go to camp. Right. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, sir. And the mortuary.
You go to the mortuary. You go, identify somebody, or be there for the let's call that the autopsy, something. Yeah, 7 days. You good.
I got the law,
please.
But I believe it's Numbers chapter 19, verse 11 through 13.
The
book of Numbers chapter 19, verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. Mm-hmm. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. All that come into the tent and all that is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days.
You're unclean 7 days, all right? Because you're around the body, right? Which is why you might have a funeral you have to go to, but you might have camp in 2 days. Brother might tell you, hey, was you close to this person? Nah, not really. So why you going? Well, so and so. Say, well, listen, brother, if you want to go to the thing after. It's called that the repast. Yeah. Go to the repast, right? Where you could go there, sit with people, and give them a hug. Yeah. You touch them, you'll be unclean for 1 day. Right. But you go to that cemetery, I ain't seeing you till next week. We are camping 2 days. Right. I need it for camp. You can't miss it. Right. Get the point? Another situation, a brother might be extremely young in truth, or a sister might be young in truth. And you tell them that, brother, you're going to look like Satan to them. You tell them, nah. You can already see them looking at you like, you mother effing devil. You ain't got no heart. Right. This is why I always like that other camp and blah, 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 blah. So it's just like, go ahead, take time off. Go ahead, sis, go on. How's it going down there? Blah, 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 blah. You're not strong enough yet to understand that person who you're missing, they're not even in the box. Right. They ain't there. Right. And all I should see on TV, well, I didn't get to talk to you. Nigga, who are you talking to a demon? That person ain't there no more. They're gone. Right. You ever been there to a dead body? They take their last breath. You know something leaving. You did everything just to look different. The last breath is crazy. Yeah. That extra one when the rest of the guys leave the body is even more crazy. Yeah. They're gone. Yeah. They ain't there. They're looking, and then it's just like that person ain't there no more. They're gone. Right. So you just want to go cry, and that's fine. listen up, Salaki, look. Let me stop. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to be don't get me wrong. That's fine. You might have a special relation with this person. You might want to form trauma bonds. Some people just want to go cry and just, be sad. You know what I mean? I knew a sister, well, she liked the part when they put on take me home. And, when they put on the music, and then she looking around for when it get to the height, just for somebody to go, oh God! And she lives for that shit. And then she go up and she hug them, and I don't know, I don't understand this shit. But some people is like that. They just, it's an event. A funeral is a huge event, and they want to go. And you might come into the truth, and Christ is black, you eating no pork and shrimp. But shit, you ought to go, get your, dead freak on. All right then, go ahead. Or you might literally have a bond with this person, and damn, this person gone. It might be a close friend. And he was trying to bring into the truth, and a nigga talk shit all the time about the truth, and you tell him about his life, and the nigga get blown to hell away, or whatever happened to AIDS, whatever happened to him, and he gone, and you might just want to just go, and then you come have a talk, and you get weighed out. The man over here will weigh you out and be like, it's better to let him go. Let him go to this thing and then come back and then tell me how much of a waste of time it was. Rather than try to convince him it's a waste of time, and then he hates you for it, or she hates you for it. Just, ain't no sweats, just go ahead. You supposed to this person? Or you just want to go? All right, go ahead, do your thing. Right. And it's done. That way you can come back and tell me how, man, and you believe they fought, and like, oh, what? Shit. What else happened? Right. No, I can't dap you, you're unclean, but that. And listen, man, ain't no sweat. See you next week, right? 7 days. Right. And then I'm so mad I can't go to camp. And then you come to body camp, in regular uniform, regular clothes or something. They stand outside the camp, and you looking like, damn, I ain't going to another effing funeral. You mad at every goddamn thing, and because you're wasting time. But sometimes somebody can't tell you that. Right? Sometimes you just, you gotta go. Go ahead, Al.
So like I said, are you making fun of me?
Why would I do that?
Sound like me. Like a funeral.
Listen, you ain't the only person that had to go to a funeral in this room, literally, for the past year and a half. I'm telling you straight up. I'm saying it because it happens so much. You literally, I'm telling you, in the last year and a half, who have gotten called, so like I need some time off, I need to go here, there, and everywhere. Some brothers ain't go, some sisters ain't go. Some did. That's that.
Cause like I remember when my great grandmother, she passed earlier this year, and I was like, everybody was going to the funeral, and it's like, you going? I was like, and they like the fact that I was hesitating on the phone, it just vexed my grandmother. She was like, I was like, I probably won't. I was like, I can't afford to miss doing the work. And she's like, what work are you talking about? You can get days off. I was like, nah, not this work. I got to teach class and go to camp. She was like, I just can't understand this organization will make you not want to go and bury your great grandmother. Listen to that. I was doing this for her. I was like, so she can come back to something. She's like,
you talking a different language?
Yeah, it was big.
Listen, I remember that stage, and then I realized I need to hold my energy for these devils at camp.
Yeah.
So you coming to the funeral? You goddamn right I'm coming. What you mean? Like, how dare you ask me if I'm coming? And hang up. Right. And wait for the phone to ring back. Hello? Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I told you that so and so. Yeah, man, watch your mouth, man. How dare you ask me if I'm coming? What time we gonna meet? Where? All right, cool. I'm gonna be there. Ain't no sweat. That's that. I don't need to battle you. The nigga gone. If I ain't coming, what he gonna miss? Right. You nigga gone. What you want, man? What you want? You mad because I ain't coming? What you want to see me? Right. Let's go hang out after. Exactly. But they don't understand that. So let me have to talk people's language. Yeah. It's how to talk people's language. I already brought it to I was making fun of him. Listen, I'm just talking the language that you need to hear at the time. Yep. And that's for everybody. This ain't for no one person. That's for everybody. Right. You wait in the balance. You wait and you see what's going on. But this work is so heavy. Right. You get the point? There's gonna come a time when you ain't gonna what? Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't, you can't do that.
Right.
You can't roll. This is what it is. You know what I mean? Forget about, listen, this is the law for the dead. Forget about when a child is born. Like I don't care, listen, I think my first daughter I missed the birth. I know y'all think I'm a horrible father. Anyway. Watch my mouth right here. The second one I think I went. I probably look like one of them hazmat niggas from the COVID because I tried to go to camp the next day. I think it was a Wednesday. It was a Thursday. Right? It was a Thursday. I remember I texted her on my iPhone. I was like, yeah, she here. Blah, 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 blah. So and so and so. But I'm about to leave up out of here because I camp tomorrow. He said, you're going to camp? I was like, yeah, I'm going to camp. I said, listen, I put everything on. I put the rubber boots on, the thing that's covered the apron, I know what it's called. The gloves, 2-3 gloves, stretch up all the way, the little plastic mask. Ain't no blood girl. Shut down DC camp. I was like, wait, what's going on? You're not getting away from that shit. Later on, I get to understand that once you're in that room, man, blood getting on you. Right. It's just, there's shit you can't see. You can cover up with water. Right. As soon as you take the shit off, blood is getting on you. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Like, stuff like that happens. So now I know what the hell I've been in that room for. The baby in her. I did my job. I'm gonna see the baby when I started weighing the shit out. Yeah. You know what? Go up in there, listen, go up in there, do this thing, blah, 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 and call me when it's done. I don't need 7 days or nothing. So listen, y'all can say what y'all want. I don't love nothing more than camp and the school and work and that. You know what I mean? Right. And because of that, my children are healthy and my household is healthy and profitable. Right. Now you want to risk everything to go and the baby come out where and now what, nigga? Shit. Right. Don't sweat missing a birth. You're gonna be there for the rest of the child's life. Right. Think of how many fathers was there for that one day, and then they ain't there no more. Right. Which more important? I'll just miss the first day. That child ain't gonna remember you wasn't there. Nah. How's the only way the child gonna remember? If that bitch tell it. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell her keep her mouth shut. That's that. You was there when I was born? Yes. How you mean if I was there? I put you in there. You ain't gonna tell him about that though, but you're gonna tell him I wasn't there when he came up. Tell him how I was there when he was put in. Tell him about that. Tell him about this here. Tell him about this shit here. God damn it, Salak. You got the hell up. Right up with the time, man. That's it? Go ahead,
I'm gonna say about the dead. When my grandmother died, my cousin, I think it was her birthday, it came around.
So what? Shabbat, listen to this. Salak, you think it's you alone. Shabbat is like, hold on. That sounds an awful lot like me. Everybody in here is the same. Go ahead, Arwadi.
My grandmother died in December. And then when March came around, they was on the phone sending
here is, there's you want to weigh certain things in the balance because of the laws of uncleanness.
Right.
At a certain stage in life, you could control everything you do.
Yep.
You could control your breathing. There's some people going on a panic attack and can't. You could train yourself to control your breathing.
Right.
Control everything. Control your reactions. Control how you blink. Control who you talk to, who you smile with. Control smiling when you don't feel like doing it.
Right.
Control who you have sex with when you have sex with a person.
Right.
You could control every single thing, and it comes over time with practice and listening to your teachers. That's all.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just get better and better and better at it, and then you realize you Jacob's portion is not the world's portion.
That's right.
And the people in the world, they simple and they're really children. It's like talking to a child. Like how you say you talking to her, and she's like, well, I just don't understand, and so and so and so. That's a child when you say we can't go to the park today.
Right.
And they start running down why we could go. Right. And the nigga can't drive. Right. That should be enough. Nigga, you can't go, you can drive? No. All right then, we ain't going nowhere. But it's people in the world, they're just not there. So you deal with them, you talk to them according. And it's the same thing when you're not coming in the truth. When you're young, there's certain things you're just not strong enough to make that type of, sacrifice, because it's a sacrifice for you at that stage.
Right. Okay.
It takes something to not be there.
Right.
You start blaming yourself and feeling some type of way because you wasn't there to lower her or him down into the grave. Right. And you can't believe that he's gonna know it. He's gonna know, okay, this person needs to go. We'll be fine. Go ahead, do your thing. You get the point? Right. It's mercy, it's brotherhood, it's understanding. Then there comes another time where it's like, nigga, you're a grown man now. How many funerals have you been to? 4? I bet you could do the whole funeral yourself now, huh? We'll come to camp.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let them go do it. They're going to fight anyway. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Man, none of them like you anyway. Yeah, right. That's true. We're going to go there in a suit and a tie? Nah, I was going to UPK. What? Man, and then it starts to clear up in your head and you get, but it's the whole thing is the work has to continue.
Right. So
we work around being unclean for certain things. Then there comes a time when you're free.
Right.
You can be unclean for whatever and do whatever. And when I'm saying that's lawful, you're free to do it and you have the freedom. You have permission to get busy with whatever you want to do. And that's that. There's a few more, but just for time's sake, we're not going to go into it. But that's the basic premise of the unclean laws, clean and unclean laws. Just give me Jeremiah, what's his ask for with Jacob, the former of all things. Give me that one more time, and then we're done. Oh damn, we're over. Who have agreed?
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things.
Say it one more time.
The portion of Jacob is not like them,
mm-hmm.
for he is the former of all things.
Go ahead.
And Israel is the rod of his inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord of hosts is his name.
You understand? Jacob is not like everybody else.
Right.
And we are the former of all things. We're the former of quarantine, cleanliness, style, fashion, language, ebonics, variations. Whatever you see that you think is fly, that's, Jacob did it first. We did it, and that's that. You know what I mean? So, that's that. With that, any more questions? We good? Pass the class over to priest and officer or what?
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After six months, if a brother or sister has a particular interest, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 in the book of Malachi 3 and 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. priest fund, free will offering. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The next upcoming holy convocation. Salakia.
Feast of dedication.
It's the Feast of Dedication. HAKANAKA, which is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. Starting Sunday, November, what is that, 20th? 28th. For 8 days. You can find this in the book of 1 Maccabees, 6:53 through 65. The next I.S.U.P.K. upcoming cookout event is in Houston, Texas, which is October 7th through October 10th. Remind Akim and Akwathium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, or scarf. And with that, I say a mighty, which means to stand. Just salute. With one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, a mighty Shabbat, a mighty Barak. Yazmatah, Saw, which means to turn, so you can stand. Give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, a mighty Shabbat, a mighty Barak. Yazmatah, with that, class dismissed.